Okay, you guys, so this is the start of my reading vlog for 1,000 Boy Kisses. I might do the 2 in the series, or I might just do 1, I'm not sure, but oh my gosh, just chapter 1, I was sitting here bawling my eyes out. I was crying my eyes out so hard because in the first chapter is where Poppy loses her grandma, and she was her grandma's favorite and had a really special relationship and stuff. And I had a similar relationship with my grandma, my dad's mom, and oh my gosh, it just made me cry so hard, like thinking about me and her, and like how much I miss her, and how we always had like that special relationship together. And man, it hit me hard. It hit me really hard, and I was just like crying so hard whenever she was talking to her grandma and saying her last goodbyes, and kind of reminded me of my time with my grandma before she passed. And I was a lot older, because Poppy's only like 8 in the book when she loses her grandma, but yeah. So far, the little relationship between Rune and Poppy is already super cute. He is very like protective, and he wants to be like the only boy that she ever kisses and stuff, and I think it's really cute. That was a lot for chapter 1. Like, sheesh, that was a lot. But all right, so I'm gonna keep reading, and then I will update you guys whenever I have something else to say. But chapter 1 was really good. You guys, I'm about to end up doing a update every single chapter. I just finished chapter 2. I think it was the sweetest thing I've ever read in my entire life, and I wish that at 28 years old I could find a boyfriend like Rune, who is only supposed to be 15 at this point, and he says the sweetest things to her, and like he just loves her so much, and like I just love them. I love them. They're so sweet. Like, just the way that he's always so like reassuring to her, to be like, you are the only girl that I like. You are the only girl that I love. You're the only girl that I want. And like, that's what I'm saying. Like, ugh, man. I just think it's so sweet and so nice. And I also love that there's like a point where he's sleeping over at her house, and things are starting to go a little bit more heavy, if you know what I mean. And she stops him, and he respects it. He's like, okay, and she's like about to be like, I'm sorry, like she's like telling him like why she's stopping him, and he's like, no, don't ever say that you're sorry for stopping me. You don't ever have to apologize. And I love that. I love that. Like, there's some 30-year-old men who can't even get that together. So I just love it. I love it. And I think like the thing for me whenever I read these stories, I really don't like, even though they're supposed to be in high school and stuff, like I don't envision them in high school. I kind of envision them as just like 2 people that are just really sweet together and stuff. So like it helps me to enjoy it a little bit more, because if I'm like envisioning like 2 15-year-olds doing this, I'm kind of like, ew. Like, I don't want to think about that. So I'm just gonna think of them as like 2 adults, and like I don't know, it's just so sweet. Like, it's just like a really sweet relationship that they have. But I feel like things are too good for this being the first and second chapter of the book. Like, I feel like things are gonna get bad fast, so we'll see what happens. You guys, I think I just found one of my new favorite quotes from this book. Again, I'm on chapter 3. Okay, I knew it was too good to be true. I knew it was too good. I knew things were going a little too well. Literally heartbreak in chapter 3. But, oh my gosh, this quote right here is amazing. And it says, it was after she tells Rune that she loves him. And he says, my heart slammed into a new kind of beat, one that knew it had the love of its other half. Like, what? Oh my gosh, you guys. Like, this book has already taken me through like a whirlwind of, is it wind or wind? Whatever. It has already taken me through like a whirlwind of emotions and just so much, you guys, so much. But I don't know why I've let this sit on my shelf for this long. Like, I should have been reading this the whole time. Like, I should have read it the second that I got it. I should have. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked. And I'm sorry I look horrific. But it's Saturday and I don't have any plans. I don't have anywhere to go. So I'm just sitting here reading my book because I have not had like any time really to read. Well, not that I haven't had any time, but I haven't like really made any time to just sit and read. And today that's what I really wanted to do. So I think I picked the perfect book for it. I don't even know how many chapters there are. Okay, there's 16 chapters plus an epilogue and a prologue. So 16, 17, 18. And then there's some bonus material. So, but like the bonus material, it doesn't really count. So there's like 18 chapters in this book. I was able to read The Summer I Turned Pretty fast because the chapters were really short and there wasn't like a lot of chapters, kind of like this book. But I don't know, this book looks a little thick. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through the whole thing today, but we'll see. And if I do get through it today, I think I will definitely be moving on to the next book in this series, which I picked up in a haul that I showed you guys, but I can't see where it's at, so I don't remember the name. But yeah, I think it's like 1,000 Broken Pieces, so I might end up starting on that book if I finish this one today. See what happens. But oh my gosh, you guys, my heart is broken for them. Like, and from what I know of what's to come, my heart's gonna be even more broken for them later on because they've accidentally like ran into some spoilers. Well, when I bought the second book, I read the back and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know it was the second book to this one. I just thought it was another book by the author and it just looks similar. I'm stupid. I'm not stupid, but I just didn't put the two together. And so I accidentally read part of what happens and I'm like dying on the inside thinking about that coming up because there's already so much that has happened and it's only 3 chapters. Like, only in 3 chapters so much has happened. So that's so crazy. But yeah, we're gonna keep reading. Okay guys, oh my gosh, I made it to chapter 9. That was a lot. I think I updated you guys on chapter 3, and there was like several times where I wanted to update you guys, but I had to just keep reading because I was like brokenhearted for a lot of the book, for a lot of it. There is like 18 chapters and I'm on chapter 9, so I don't have that much longer to go, you guys, but it's crazy because I've literally been reading all day. Like, it's almost 3:30, and I think I started at like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I think I started at like 12 or 11:30. That's a long time to be reading, but yeah, I am so I'm already, like, my heart is already breaking. So whenever she finds out that he's coming back to Georgia, and she's like, no, like, I'm not gonna talk to him, he can't know anything about what's going on with me. And she's like, you know, just determined, like, he's not gonna know. And then whenever, like, you see like these awkward interactions between them, you see how much he's changed. I will say that, oh my gosh, like, his emotions, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh gosh. It kind of reminds me a lot of myself, if I'm being perfectly honest. I definitely have that issue where, like, my emotions just, like, when I feel something, like, it runs rampant. And especially if it's a negative emotion, it's, like, even more intense. And that's kind of how I see Rune. And so it's very, like, grumpy sunshine kind of vibe. But she finally told him that she has lymphoma, and oh my gosh, you guys, are like so heartbreaking. She has like months to live, and like, he does not know how to deal with it. I will say that, like, I don't know what it is, like, my heart just breaks over how bad things are with him and his dad. Like, I understand that he's mad at his dad because he's like, well, you took me away from Poppy, and, you know, now I couldn't be with her when she found out, couldn't be with her while she was getting treatment, I couldn't, you know, have this and that. To me, it's like, she probably would have done the same thing if he had still been there. She probably would have been like, no, like, we're not going to be together, would have left him heartbroken. Like, I feel like she still would have done the same thing, even if he had been there. If I'm being, like, perfectly honest, I feel like she still would have done it, but I don't know, that's just me. But also, like, the fact that they are, like, really pushing this, what do you call it? Like, they're really pushing this thing about him that he is filled with so much darkness and anger, and he's mean, and he's this and that and all this stuff. And at first I didn't like that Poppy was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know him, who is he, blah blah. And it's like, girl, you're the one that did this to him. But I like that he finally told her, like, you're the one that did this to me, like, because you cut me off for 2 years, you know. Although he was already feeling like a lot of anger because his dad had moved them, and so now he's like, I hate you. He's like so hateful towards his dad, and I'm like waiting for the day that they fix that. I'm waiting for it to come up in the book because I don't want that for them. It hurts me. Like, I just wish that he would let his dad be there for him. And yeah, so they just had like a whole moment together, finally talked about everything. I would honestly have liked it if they would have just been able to jump back into being in a relationship. Like, you still see that, like, they both still feel the same way about each other, both still love each other, both still want, you know, to be together and stuff. But, like, I don't know, like, they're kind of making it like they want to be back together, they still love each other, but at the same time, like, they don't really know each other. It's been 2 years, granted, but like they knew each other when they were 15 and now they're 17, and it's like, I know that's a lot of time technically, but at the same time it's not that long. Like, it's not like, oh, we knew each other when we were 15 and now we're in our 30s, you don't know me. That I understand, but we knew each other from 6 years old or 5 years old to 15, and now we're 17, but you don't know me. It's like, no, like, pretty sure y'all know each other still. But he just asked her out on a date, so they're gonna like officially be going out on a date, which apparently they've never done. They've always just like been together, never been like a will you be my girlfriend kind of thing, or a let's go out on a date kind of thing. It's just been like they're just together. It's just what it is. So they're gonna be going on a date, and he hasn't kissed her yet. He just kissed her cheek or whatever. But oh my gosh, you guys, it's been so good. It's been so good. I'm like actually mad at myself that I let this book just sit on my shelf for so long, but I knew that it was going to be emotional because every time I see anything about this book, it's like books that will make you cry, and then it's this book and I'm like, oh Lord, I'm not sure we're ready for it, but I was definitely ready for it now. So I am loving it so far, but it is like absolutely heartbreaking. But if you've learned anything from the books that I read, I am eating it up, okay? I love the sadness of it, okay? Like, it's not even really that I love the sadness of it. It's just that I love the emotion. Like, even when they were happy, I loved that they were, like, showing so much emotion towards each other. Just, like, you could feel, like, through the words that were, like, the way it was being described, like, you could tell how much they love each other and, like, how they felt about each other and how they were just so affectionate towards each other, like, mostly, like, with their words, you know, and, like, the way that they felt about each other was just, like, radiating off the book. And now that, like, he knows that she's sick, like, he wants to do everything that he can to make her happy, and I just think it's beautiful. So I really, really, really am enjoying it. So I am about to read chapter 9. Like I said, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break and then I'll get back to it. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Chapter 9 was actually insane. Like, I just feel like I went on like a whirlwind. Like, so much happened. Okay, so they went on a date and he was like being like real broody and moody and whatever, and he takes her on a date to a place that they went when they were younger, and oh my gosh, like, then they go back to the house and he finally kisses her. Like, he'd just been kissing her like on the cheek or whatever, like he was trying to like savor it, and like he was trying to like, you know, like win her trust back and everything like that before he was gonna kiss her on the lips. But then he was just like, I can't take it anymore, like I need to just do it. And he did it, and she was so happy because she wanted it too. And so like then she said that like, so now they officially are like, you're mine, and like they're back together and stuff. I'm so happy, but like, oh my gosh, I know bad things are coming. But oh my gosh, like this book has like absolutely taken my breath away in every chapter. Like, there's not one chapter where I've been like, oh, this is boring, like I don't really want to read this, like where I want to like skip it or anything. None. There's none. There's no chapter that I've wanted to skip. There's no chapter that I've been like, it's a little boring. None of that. Like, I have been fully engrafted into every single chapter, and it just is so, like, it's so funny because, like, this is like what I love about reading, right? And I've been like in a little bit of a slump, so like the fact that this book just like brought me back, you know, just like brought me back to like what I loved about reading. Like, I just love it so much. It's so cute, and it's just so, like, I don't know, like, I just love the way that they talk about each other. And I love that everything that is said in this book, especially when it comes to Poppy and Rune, like, it's just so eloquently written. Like, the way that they say things is just so poetic, and it's just so like, oh, like you can feel the emotion like jumping off of the book. Like, you can feel it, and it just is so like just so good. I just love it so much, and I'm like so enjoying reading this book. And I can't believe that was all just one chapter, girl. Like, that was just one chapter, and like insane. Like, I just feel like every single chapter, every chapter that I've read, it almost feels like its own little book, if that makes sense. Like, so much happens in the one chapter that like it feels like its own book, and it feels like I've already finished the book. Like, what else could there be? But I know that there's more coming, and I don't know, it's just so good, you guys. Like, I love this book. I love this book already. I haven't even finished it, and I love this book. And I just love the way that things are written in this book. I just love it. Tillie Cole, the author of this book, you are that girl, because I love it. I love this book. Okay, you guys, so it's actually been a couple days since I picked up my book the last time. I just been going through some stuff, and so I haven't picked up my book in a little bit, but I just got to chapter 14, you guys. Oh my gosh. And there's 16 chapters, and then there's like an epilogue, I believe. So there's like still a little bit more to go, but oh my gosh, like my heart is like breaking. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be as connected to these characters as I was to Finny and Autumn from If He Had Been With Me, because I like still really feel connected to those characters, and I feel like that's how it's gonna be with Poppy and Rune. And oh my gosh, it's so sad. It's so sad. It's like, okay, so they went to New York. They had an amazing time. He made it so that she could perform in Carnegie Hall, because that was like her dream. And he took her, and she took him to go see like a photo gallery to show him like what his future could be and everything. And like, there is like an intimacy scene in the book, but you guys, it is described so beautifully and so like poetic that it's just like, I don't know, like, it's not gross, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like weird, I guess. And I don't know, I just think it's like really sweet the way that it was described. So it says, the air became heavy and warm the more we kissed and explored, until finally Rune shifted above me. Not once breaking eye contact, he took me as his again, my body filled with life and light as he made us one, my heart filled with such love, and I feared it would not contain all the happiness flooding in. What? Like, that was just so, like, you guys, that's so beautiful. Like, I love it being described that way. Like, I love that it's not like describing body parts and how they feel and blah blah. Like, oh my god, I hate that. But like this was just like so sweet, and it was so like just poetic to me. I don't know, I just loved it. And so now Poppy has so she's sicker than she was, and now she has an infection, so they actually had to put her in a coma. And so they kind of know that like it's getting to the point where she's probably gonna pass soon, obviously, since there's only 3 more chapters left. Like obviously that's about to happen soon. So oh my gosh, you guys, like I can just feel my heart breaking. But yeah, so that's happening. And then Poppy's dad and Rune just like kind of, you know, settled their differences and stuff. And I'm hoping that they're gonna show like him and his dad settling their stuff, because his dad loves him so much. And like I know his dad could be like a little bit cold to him or whatever sometimes, but like Rune just blames him for everything. And the thing is, like, I personally think that Poppy would have still tried to break things off with him even if he still lived there. Just my opinion. I think she still would have been like, I want him to live his life and be happy, so I'm not going to be with him. I feel like she still would have done that regardless of whether he lived there or if he lived in Oslo, to be honest. But again, that's just my opinion. But oh my gosh, you guys, like I love this book so much. Like it just makes me feel so many things with every single page, and with like every single chapter. It feels like I've read an entire book. Like that's how fulfilled I feel every time I finish a chapter. Like I feel like I've already read the entire book, but there's still more book. Does that make sense? Like I just love it so much, and it's just so good. But yeah, you guys, so I am almost done with this book. I'm gonna try to get to it tomorrow. Since tomorrow's Friday, so I can stay up a lot longer. I don't have to worry about having to go to sleep for work. But since tomorrow's Friday, I will probably most likely be finishing this book. And I wonder if I'm gonna cry. I don't know. I didn't cry in If He Had Been With Me. I cried in If Only I Had Told Her. And I mostly cried with like Jack's perspective of like how he felt about everything with Finny and Autumn. So I kind of like, that's mostly what I cried about. But I don't know, I feel like I might get emotional with this book. I do have like several, I don't know if you can see them, like several little tabs of stuff, and it's mostly just like the really, really sweet quotes and stuff that I've found in here, and like the way that they describe their love for each other, and the way that like just the way that like certain things have been depicted is just like so sweet, you know, like it's just so sweet. Like that's the only word I can think of. It's just sweet and like just beautiful, and like I don't know, I just love it. Also, I love that they call each other baby. Like that's so random, but like, you know, most people in like books, I feel like they don't call each other that unless it's like they're being whatever, you know. But I don't know, like most of the books that I've read, it's like they come up with like different names for each other, but they're never just like baby, oh baby this or baby that or whatever, but they both call each other baby. And I just think it's sweet. I don't know, weird side note, but yeah, so hopefully tomorrow we're gonna be finishing this book. Hey guys, I just finished 1,000 Boy Kisses. Oh my gosh, I am so sad. I'm so sad. I don't even like, I don't know, I feel like I have to process everything and then talk about it, but like literally my heart is broken, like absolutely shattered after reading this book. But it was so good, you guys. Like I can't even believe that I almost didn't read this book. for the longest time. Like, I would see it at Walmart and I would be like, oh, it looks cute, but I don't know, I'm probably not gonna read it. And then I heard that it was a sad book and I was like, oh no, I'm definitely gonna read it. And oh my gosh, you guys, my heart is broken. And I was wondering too, like, if they were gonna make it so that he like joins her in heaven, and they did. And oh my gosh, like, I feel like I want to cry, but at the same time, like, I don't know, like, I'm not crying, but like I feel it, like I feel like I want to cry. And man, just so heartbreaking. It's such a heartbreaking story, but like so good. Like, the way that Rune and Poppy love each other in this book is something so beautiful, and something so, like, the way that they described it was like soulmates, and that definitely is like what it's giving soulmates. And it just makes my heart hurt, because I would love to have that one day. I think that's actually what's making me sad, is thinking about having that for myself, and thinking about, you know, would I ever experience a romantic love like that? You know, like, I have an even greater love in Jesus, and that's awesome, but I would also love to just experience something that beautiful, like what was described in this book. But not everything described in the book, obviously, but just to have a love that's so like wholesome, and so where you just feel so connected to somebody that, like, even if you, I don't know, like, even if you tried, you just, you know that, like, this is your person, and this is like who you love and who you are meant to be with, and you become better just by being with them. And I don't know, I just think that it's so beautiful and amazing and awesome, and I don't know, I just love the way that everything was described in the book. I love the way that their love was, you know, explained, and how deeply connected to each other they were. And I just thought it was so beautiful. And this author is really, really good, because I am like, wow, like, just the way that she described this whole love story, the way she described the intimate scenes between them, the way she described every kiss, the way that, you know, whenever they would get a kiss for the jar, she would say, you know, Poppy would say, kiss, you know, 950 with my Rune under the cherry blossom tree. My heart almost burst, and I was like, oh, my heart almost burst. Like, that's just a beautiful way to describe things, and I just love it, you guys. I just thought it was so beautiful. And yeah, I think I just need a minute to like process everything, and then I'll go like a full deep dive and review of the book. But I will say that there are two intimate scenes in the book, but they are not graphic, they're not disgusting, they're very, very beautifully written, and there's no details or anything. They're very like closed door romance, I guess is what you would call it. They're just really good. This book is so good. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to let you know that I finished it, and I will be giving you like a full review once I get it together. Okay, guys, so I finished 1,000 Boy Kisses. I actually finished it a while ago, but I'm finally sitting down to tell you guys my little review. I 1,000% enjoyed this book so much. It was so sweet, so precious, so like just enjoyable and loving and sweet and caring, and like just a beautiful, beautiful book. Like, I truly enjoyed it. I even have like my little tabs everywhere. I so enjoyed this book. I really did. I will say, guys, that there are some parts of it that I didn't know how to feel. Mostly when it came to Rune's outbursts and the way that he acted. In some parts, I felt like, I don't know, I felt like had the book been any kind of a I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. Like, if the book had been different, like maybe if Poppy hadn't been the way that she was, I probably wouldn't have like shipped them together. I probably wouldn't have wanted her to be with him, because he did have such an explosive temper, and he did have such a negative personality in a lot of ways. And I think that in that, it was like something that I just didn't want to encourage, in a way, I guess that's what I'm saying. But I really enjoyed it, you guys. I love this book, and I have so many little quotes and stuff that they say that like really got to me. Like the first one that I did was, my heart slammed into a new kind of beat, one that knew it had the love of its other half. I love that they're always calling each other their other half, how they're always like, oh, like they're just so in love, you guys. Like the love between these two, between Rune and Poppy, was something so beautiful and so like pure, and just like they had met when they were young, just became enamored with each other, were there for each other through like really hard times in their life. And I just thought it was beautiful, you guys. I will say that there is alluding to, well, I wouldn't even say alluding, I would say there is a build up to intimate scenes in this book. There's two of them. There's one towards like the front of the book, and then there's one towards like the end of the book, but they are closed door romances. So this would be like a closed door romance though, because they're leading up to it, and it's like, you know what's gonna happen, but whenever it's happening, it doesn't say that it's happened. Like it jumps to, it already happened and this is how they feel. So it's not describing their intimacy or anything like that, which I really enjoyed. And also the way that the intimate scenes were described was also something that I really enjoyed, because it was not lustful. It was not disgusting. It was not, oh, this body part is doing this. It was nothing like that. It was very sweet, you guys. Okay, so it says, our gazes crashed, and needing him more than air, I slowly lifted my hand. I wanted him. I needed him. I had to love him. And then it says, I watched Rune pull in a deep breath, then step towards me. He walked carefully to where I waited. He slid his hand into mine, his touch sending flares of light and love through my body. Ugh. Just, like, who describes intimate scenes like that? Like, no other author that I've read, which, mind you, I haven't read a lot of books, I will give you that, but I have not read another author write a intimate scene so beautifully and it not be disgusting. Like, it's not that it's disgusting or anything, it's just the, like, most books, when they talk about intimate scenes, it's just very lustful. It's very, like, all about lusting and, like, just, oh, like, I just want you, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't like that. You know, I like this. Like, it's like sharing, like, a deep longing and a need for that person, but in a beautiful way, because you, like, what led up to these things happening between them was their love for each other being so strong that they then wanted to express it. It wasn't, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, I just want to jump into bed with you. Like, it wasn't that. You know, it was something so much deeper. And even in the beginning of the book, Rune, when he starts, like, sleeping over at Poppy's house, he does, of course, want to do that. Like, he wants to be with her in that way, but she's like, I'm not ready, you know, and he's like, no, like, you know, well, because she says that she's not ready, and then he's like, oh, okay, and she's like, oh, like, I'm sorry, like, she starts to feel bad, and she's like, you know, and he's like, no, like, you have a right to feel the way that you feel. Don't apologize for anything. Like, you didn't do anything wrong. And I really enjoyed that, because that's not something that you see a lot in these books. Most of the time it's just like, yes, let's, like, just jump into it, you know. But, like, it was really giving you, like, the purity and the, like, just sweetness of two people being in love. And granted, they are teenagers, but I will say that I tried to look past the fact that they were teenagers. I tried to think of them as, like, adults, because it made it less weird. But yeah, it is just it's very sweet. I will say that it's a very sweet story, but it is also unbelievably heartbreaking. Unbelievably heartbreaking. And I actually cried in the very first chapter, like, bawling, like fully, like, snot tears. And it's because in the beginning, Poppy's grandma passes away, and just the way she was describing everything with her, and, like, her relationship with her was a lot very similar to me and my grandma, and so I was just, like, a mess. But man, I really, really enjoyed this book, and I can't wait to get to 1,000 Broken Pieces, which is about her sister, Savannah, I believe. I really want to get to that book. I'm excited to see where they take the story, because it's supposed to be, like, after Poppy passes away and Savannah meets a guy who's also grieving, and so they kind of bond over that. And I think that that is going to be really, really interesting. I will say that I do, I'm a little nervous because I struggle a lot with, like, reading about grief and stuff. Not that I turn away from it, it's just that it, like, I understand it so much that it, like, it really brings out a lot of emotion in me. So, you know, I'm just preparing myself for that. But This book was so beautiful, you guys. I truly, truly loved it. I loved the concept. I loved the idea. I loved everything about it. I was broken whenever at the end of this book, the very end of this book, no words. No words. I was like, wait, he's what? Like, you both are gone? What? What? I was shocked. I was so shocked. But I was also like, oh my gosh, like, he didn't even last that long without her. You know, it was very like Johnny Cash and June Carter. I don't know if you've ever like heard about their story, but like I think he didn't last very long after she passed away. And it just is giving like true love. It's giving like very, very true love. And I love it. I love it. So yeah, you guys, I would absolutely recommend this book. I give it a 10 out of 10. Broke my scale. Amazing. Like, Poppy and Rune are gonna stay with me the way that Autumn and Finny have stayed with me. Like, I don't think I'll ever be the same after reading If He Had Been With Me and If Only I Had Told Her. And I feel the same with Poppy and Rune. Like, I think that's how I know that I really love a book, is when they periodically just come back into my head. Like, I just start thinking about them. I start thinking about them as if they are people that I knew, people that I, you know, I spent time with, people that I was with, you know, like, I think about that sometimes and I'm just like, that's so funny. Like, I don't know why I just start thinking about like the world. I start thinking about everything that happened. I start thinking about like, you know, everything that went on in the book. And then like I have my times where I just want to like revisit it. But the only thing is that like these books are like, sometimes these books are so heavy that it's like, I don't think that I can revisit it because like, I don't know, sometimes I just need like something like really happy and like, you know, kind of calm for me. But yeah, oh my gosh, you guys, I loved this book so much. But yeah, so I'm excited to read the next one. I'm excited to see where the story goes. I want to see Savannah get a happy ending because my heart was like breaking for her in the ending of the book because she's struggling so much with Poppy's loss, with Poppy being gone. And it was really, really, really heartbreaking. But yeah, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog and like / review. Comment, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And let me know if you liked the reading vlog thing, or do you just want like a basic review? Or do you want to review it all? I don't know. Just let me know, okay?